Hey guys, it's Chris, and I'm here to do a book tag that I actually prepared for this time. You can see there's a gap in my queer bookshelf, and that's because I'm doing This Book Tag is Full of Pride tag that was created by Kevin over at The Irish Reader. I'm going to put a link down to his video and his channel down below so you guys can go check him out. Essentially, this is just a big LGBTQ plus books recommendation video. And tag, so it's really awesome. And I've done most of the queer book tags that are on BookTube so far, I think, but there's quite a few. And I've done a lot of them, but I still haven't done all of them yet. But this is a new one that I want to do right away because it's Pride Month, and I thought it'd be a fun thing to do. And it's pretty easy for me to kind of just run down the list, I feel like. So I'm excited to get into these and just start. We're going to start off with books with lesbian characters, and most of the books I've read with lesbian characters, I've talked about this before, have been from the library. I read a lot from the library anyway, but just looking at my shelf, I really don't have that many on my LGBTQ bookshelf, which is probably the thing to change, but one that I do have on my shelf is Of Fire and Stars by Audrey Coulthurst. And this is a really, really fantastic book. I really enjoyed it. It is a female-female love story set in a fantasy world where there's this princess who's very bookish. I really like her a lot. Who gets sent to this kingdom because she's betrothed to this prince. She's like, it's like a political marriage for her to marry this prince of this place, but she ends up falling in love with the sister. And I really enjoyed the book. It wasn't like my favorite fantasy book ever, but I really did enjoy it. And I'm really excited to see the rest of the series when the next book comes out. I'm definitely going to be picking up because I am very excited for it. So yeah, that's one book. Like I said, most of the books I've read with lesbian main characters have been books that I read and from the library, so I think I'm just going to do that one for this one because there's a lot more books to talk about. But as I read more, I always will talk about them on my channel. The Miseducation of Cameron Post is like a classic queer book that has a lesbian main character, but I haven't read it yet. It's in my immediate TBR that I need to get to in the next month or so. So hopefully I will read that one and enjoy it. I'll have a review of that on my channel. But for right now, we're just going to move on to gay books. Okay, with this, I could talk about books that I talk about all the time. I could talk about Simon There's a Homo Sapiens Agenda. I could talk about Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I could talk about so many other books on the shelf that I feel like I always bring up. There's a book that I bring up, or try to bring up more, because I know a lot of people haven't read it, and I really enjoyed it, and it's fantasy, and it's queer, and it is The Cat in the Cradle by J. Bell. And From Darkness to Darkness by J. Bell. Dylan and Ty Jen and their relationship and the build-up and how it works in the story I really love, and I really love Cole and Jonah as well. So, yeah, I really love these books. They're a fantasy book, and they're in this world where there's these 7, or maybe it's 13. I don't know how many oligarchs there are. There are a lot of oligarchs. And there are these rulers of these different parts of the world who have these stones which grant them increased magic. Some other people have magic, but not to their level. And in the first book, we have Dylan, who is the son of the blue oligarch who has water abilities. He is on the run with the water stone because someone is killing the oligarchs, and his father told him to take the stone, protect it, and go into hiding. And so Dylan's off and going into hiding with the stone, and he has a bodyguard named Ty Jen, and Dylan is closeted, and it's cute, and it's him and Ty Jen and their relationship and the book while also running and trying to figure out who the murderer is. It's great. Also, he has a talking cat. The Cat in the Cradle. It's because Dylan has a talking cat named Keo, who is fucking awesome. So, yeah. Second book, it starts off with a completely different character named Cole. Even though Dylan does show up in it at some point, it does start off with a completely different character named Cole, and I really like Cole's journey in this, and some of the perspectives that we get in this book a lot. So, yeah. I always recommend these when I can. It's gay, it's fantasy, and the book covers are really pretty, even though I don't know if you can really tell right now because of lighting and stuff, but whatever, I don't care. Yeah, other great books, because I have two. David Levithan's Boy Meets Boy, which is a classic favorite book for me. It was one of the first queer lit books that I read, and I love it so much, and it's very well loved, as you can see. Books of bisexual main characters. I'm going to start off with 37 Things I Love, in no particular order, by Kekla Magoon. This book's main character, Ellis, is biracial, and she is bisexual. And this is a book that kind of in the format of 37 Things that she loves, starting with 1 and then going through. And so following her life in her last 4 days of her sophomore year. and it's literally just over 4 days, and it's over of her sophomore year, and it's about her and finding love, and the ability for love to be able to hold you together through very tough times, because she's going through a lot at the beginning in this book. And I really, really enjoyed this book. I thought it was just light and cute, and I liked it a lot. So, yeah. Okay, you kind of can see it. No, you can't. You really can't. It's fine. It's whatever. It's cool. It is Boyfriends with Girlfriends by Alex Sanchez. I'm going to put it back, like, I don't know, here or something. But this book is great. Essentially, this book is about these friends. I don't remember their names. Actually, I do. Sergio, Lance, Kimiko, and Allie. Wow, is that right? That's totally right. Booyah! I haven't read this book in forever. I'm really proud of myself for that. But yeah, Sergio, Lance, Kimiko, and Allie. Lance and Allie are friends. Kimiko and Sergio are friends. And Sergio and Lance go on a date, and that's how Kimiko and Allie eventually meet each other. Sergio is bisexual. Lance doesn't really think bi guys is actually a thing. He has some real biphobia going on, guys. But that kind of gets rectified later in the text. And it's about their relationship, but then also Allie realizing that she is bisexual and may have feelings for Kimiko, even though she hasn't had feelings for a girl prior to that. It's a really, really good book. It's an older book, which you don't really see people talking about very often. I have this copy, which is I bought used, and it's like a library copy, so it has all the glary, but it's a really, really cute book. I might actually just show you guys the cover, a picture of the cover, because I think it's a really cute cover over this, so that you guys can see it right now. But yeah, I really, really recommend this book. I thought it was just really cute, really well done, and I would love to see more of these characters one day, actually, because they're just great. Especially Allie and Kimiko. Allie and Kimiko really stole the story for me. Like, it starts off and I realize it feels like it's supposed to be Sergio and Lance's story, but then Allie and Kimiko really take over for me with the story. I just loved them so much. Books with trans characters. For that one, I didn't really know what to go with for this, because I was thinking, like, I'll do trans characters, but then also talk about gender fluid characters in books, and I haven't read that many of either. I've read a few books with trans main characters. Most of them are books that I don't own, though. Like George by Alex Zeno, which is really fantastic. It follows as a middle grade book following a trans character that I absolutely recommend to a lot of people. I recommend people definitely go and check it out. It's really great. And things like Dreadnought by April Daniels, which has a trans superhero as the main character, and is just absolutely brilliant. I actually just got an advanced copy of Sovereign, and I'm really, really excited to read it. But yeah. But then there's also things with gender fluid characters, and for that, can't think of that many things that I've read that have gender fluid main characters. I just started reading Symptoms of Being Human. Like, I literally just started the audiobook, only like about 10 minutes into it, so I really haven't jumped into that story very much, but I think it's going to be pretty good. I heard a lot of great things about it. There's a gender fluid character in the Magnus Chase series by Rick Riordan, and that's they come up in the second book, and I really like that character, and hopefully you're going to see a lot more of them in the future of the book. The other book that I really would talk about that I've read that has a gender fluid character, that character is also intersex. So let's just transition to intersex, and we'll get to that one, because it's a good transition piece between the things right now. Books we're going to talk about None of the Above a little bit by I.W. Guerrero. This is a fantastic book if you really don't know a lot about intersex. It goes over it really well for the character. It's about a young girl who finds out that she is intersex, and so as she's learning about it, you really are learning about it. Like, this is a great resource book. I didn't really like the character that much, and that kind of was like meh for the actual story for me. I wasn't really invested in the character, but I did feel like it gave you a lot of information, so I definitely always still recommend this book. And I was going to talk about is Assassin's Nemesis, and Assassin's Nemesis has a main character who is intersex, yes, but they are also non-binary. They're a gender fluid character who pronouns have changed over the course of the story. I really like the main character of Assassin's Nemesis a lot. They're just very interesting and individual to follow in such a story, because they're not an assassin themselves, but they're kind of surrounded by assassins because of what happened in the first book in this series. And it's really interesting seeing them go on the mentions and just kind of their perspective on things. I really loved the way that the story handled their gender fluidness, the way that their love interest handles their gender fluidness, just like, yes, it was so good. I really love that a lot. So they're intersex and they're gender fluid, and I feel like that book just handles that really well. They're also pansexual. They say that when they say that they're pansexual, so that's a good transition into pansexual books, but I haven't really read that many books with pansexual characters. Assassin Nemesis really is the big one. I would love to read more that have it. There's a pansexual character in Seven Ways We Lie, which also has a ace character, which I was going to get to in a minute anyway. But yeah, I'm all over the place with this. But pan characters, because the reason I'm all over with the place is that because a lot of things I'm thinking of have like a multitude of characters and I don't have them as a main character. I've read that many things where the main character was pan, like Assassin Nemesis, which is the case in that. But I will talk about one other book that has a pan character since we've transitioned into pansexual books out of talking about non-binary and intersex there somehow, is Timekeeper by Tara Sem, which I actually have. Hold on. Timekeeper, the love interest Colton is pansexual. They don't have a word for pansexual during the time period, so it's not actually mentioned in the book, but the author has stated that that's what they consider Colton to be. Colton would be a pansexual character. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's not mentioned in the text, which is unfortunate, but he is the love interest in the book, and I really like that a lot. So it's pretty awesome. So yeah, we get quite a lot of Colton in the book, obviously. So we just talked about trans characters, transition into talking about intersex and non-binary characters. Then we talked a little bit about pansexual characters. And now we're going to talk about characters on the ace and aromantic spectrum, which I am on that spectrum. I don't talk about that a lot on this channel because I don't really know exactly where I'm on the spectrum. I thought I had a place on it, that like a word that fit me, and then that kind of changed and shifted because things shift. So I don't really know where I am on it, and that's probably why I don't talk about it a lot, but I am in the ace spec. So yeah, we're going to talk about some things in that area that I've read. We're going to start with Seven Ways to Lie because I've already mentioned it. Seven Ways to Lie has a really, really good representation of the ace spectrum in my opinion. I really love that character, and I really loved that when we find out that the character's ace, even though the character doesn't say it because they don't know the word for it, it just, like they're in high school. They don't know the word for it yet. Like, it's just not something that they really know. And I really, really, really liked that a lot because I felt like it was pretty relatable to some, like, being a queer teenager and not really understanding exactly where you are on the spectrum of things. And I really like the character a lot, too, so I was very happy about that. Some Ways to Lie is such a great book with a lot of different types of representation, even though there is a potentially problematic thing I talked about in my review that I think that they handle it really well, actually, so it was very different than what I thought was going to be when I went into it. I just really loved that book a lot. I'd love to own that book. I read it from the library, and I never picked up my own copy, but I should one day. But yeah, it's really fantastic. Another thing that I read that has a main character is How Not to Summon Your True Love by Sasha L. Miller. This character is asexual, but he's not aromantic, and he jokingly tries to cast a spell one day. You know, you've done it. You've always been like, I'll just do this thing. It's not actually romantic. Wouldn't it be awesome if it was? And it's a spell to summon your true love. And it works. Someone appears in his room who was just previously in the shower. So a naked man just appears in his room after he casts a spell. And so the main character finds out that he has magic, and is a little confused that this person might possibly be his true love, and now he has to go on a road trip with this guy, which is a road trip story, which I freaking love, to take him for them to go back to his place while being hunted by some people who want to use this guy's magic. It's a big messy situation. It's not the most well-written book ever, but I just really, really enjoyed it. I love the magic in it, the little bit of magic in it that we get, and I really love the two main characters who are just so freaking cute. I love this book so much, okay?
You're perfect, you're beautiful, you look like Linda Evangelista, you're a model.
I'm going to mention one more thing under the ace book category because I don't know how I haven't talked about any comics in the entirety of this. I mean, I talk about queer webcomics and as like a series on the channel occasionally, and I'm going to continue to do that. But this is actually one I'm going to be mentioning it very soon, because I have a video coming up shortly on asexual webcomics that I really want to work on, and I'm going to be having come out soon. But this one is one that I want to mention for this. It's called Shades of A. It's basically a 50 Shades of Grey parody with an ace main character. And it's, I don't know, it's like, it's not, I'm assuming it's not a direct parody. I've never actually read 50 Shades of Grey. It's essentially this ace main character gets brought to a kink bar with his friend. His friend didn't want to go to the kink bar by themselves or something. I don't know what happened. But they end up at this kink bar where they meet a cross-dresser named Vixen. Yeah. And they start, and then they meet, and they're in their daily life in the next couple of days, they meet Vixen and their daily life, and they start up this friendship with Vixen that slowly turns into something romantic. So it's an asexual character and who's in a relationship with a person who is pretty sexual, actually, who has kinks that they like fulfilled. And I really love this book because it talks about the level of communication between these two characters so they both can get what they need in their relationship. I just absolutely love the conversation element of this book. This webcomic, this is all online for free. The Shades of A webcomic is completely online for free. Like, I can link it down below. If I don't, you should remind me. But it's so good. I really, really enjoyed it. There's a sequel to it that's out called 50 Shades After or something. Or what, I don't know, Shades of something, I don't know. There's a sequel to it that I think is complete now, so I'm going to be reading that pretty soon as well, and I am so excited for it. I love this book. Also, the main character is Middle Eastern, I think. I don't know exactly what nationality. It's been a little bit since I read it, but I remember that factoring into the story a little bit, and I really like that. There was a lot of racial diversity in this in the story, with the main character's best friend, some of the people that you see in the kink club. It felt like it was a really good representation of the kink community, and I really liked that a lot as well. Like, the author was really trying to show it as honestly as possible, and I really like that as well. So I really love that webcomic. I had to throw that recommendation in here because not a lot of people read webcomics, I know, but there's some really fantastic queer webcomics. I'm going to actually put a link to a place called tagpacker.com, which has a LGBT webcomic section, and you can just go by category. You can say lesbian, bisexual, gay, transgender, intersex. You can look for webcomics that feature any of those different sexualities, and they'll have a list for you. And then you can check if you want to complete, if you want it to be a work in progress, whatever. They have it on there. So it's a really awesome website. So I'm going to link that down below as well. I'm going to be talking about more things from that website, of course, in the future, because I've been reading so much of it whenever I can. But yeah, I will be still link it down below for people who just want to check it out, because you definitely should. Also post to ask for recommendations for things that I haven't read a lot of, and so I'm just going to ask for recommendations for anything under the LGBTQ umbrella, because I've kind of read a little bit across the board, but if you have recommendations for anything, talk about it in the comments, because I want to just talk about more books with pan characters for sure, more books with lesbian characters you think I should read. Tell me in the comments down below, because I would love to talk about more queer lit, intersex characters, poly characters for sure. If you have more, yes, please tell me, because I love that book Misfits, and I love some other books with poly romances that I've read, and I would really love if you could recommend more of those, because I think it'd be really cool. But yeah, that's gonna be it for the video. Alright, so I didn't plan tagging people, but I'm gonna tag people, so let's just do this. We're just gonna go, we're gonna do it. I'm gonna tag RC from Neck of the Book Lock. I tag you all the time, and so it's the first thing that came to mind. Also, Tanner from Tanner's Books and Beyond, Cheyenne Prescott, Books with Wings, Lee the Reader, The Boy Who Cried Books, Wolf's Whistle. I love Nicole, you're awesome, so I'm tagging you. I love to see your recommendations. That's 7, SS Books, which I think is don't know if that's always been your channel name, but I think you changed your channel name. But SS Books. Biblio Jesse, which I don't know if that's your YouTube channel name, but I know that's your blog name and your Twitter name, Jesse. But we're tagging you. And we're going to also tag John the Bookish Gnome, and we're also going to tag, that's 10 people. I mean, I should just stop at 10. But I don't really like stopping at 10. I'd rather stop at 11, because 11 is like one of my numbers. So I think I'm going to go ahead and tag all of you. Anyone who wants to do the tag that hasn't done the tag yet. See what I did there? Yeah. So you're encompassing 11 or whatever number after 11 that I actually like. We're gonna go with that. So yeah, that's all the tags that I'm gonna be doing. I'm having them all listed in the description box down below. You should definitely go check out all these people because when I list their tags, I'm probably gonna have links to their YouTubes. Go and check them all out. They're all awesome queer booktubers or book bloggers, and I like them a lot. So yeah, go and check them out. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you have a good morning, evening, night, or whatever time it is if you're watching this. I hope you all enjoyed my recommendations. I hope you all give me nice recommendations down in the description box. And I will see you all next time.